little more films.
I want to talk about black entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Just to give you an example, it can go all the way down to like busing and everything, man, in Chattanooga, as far as like you can make a move and you don't understand how it affects the whole community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So coming up in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had a nice scene going on for hip hop in Chattanooga.
Yep.
Okay?
Right.
Because you got to think, we was having people like Outkast, Little John, a lot of these major artists that you seeing now, like they was able to come through Chattanooga and be a part of our scene.
Right.
But now, because we can't find spots to book shows, because none of the people that own, we don't own any property and we don't own any of these buildings, the prices are so different. Like you might got somebody who owned a building in Eastdale or Brainerd or East Chattanooga, but the building for the fire code, you only can have like 300 or 400 people in the building. Okay, if you got an artist, say, let's just say Young Jeezy or T.I., he's charging $20,000 or $30,000 for a show.
Right.
How can you make your money back? How can I book T.I. for $20,000 and only 300 people can fit in the building? I can't make my money back. So it's like that option has went out the window now.
Right.
So my question is, what do we need to do to come to terms or come to an agreement with the city, man, to understand that we need chances to flourish in hip hop? You know, like what do we do? How do we have this conversation and not just get the door slammed in our face every time?
So let me address that a couple of ways. First, let's talk about venues. Whether it's hip hop, whether it's pop, whether it's country, Chattanooga doesn't really have a great music venue that will accommodate, say, 15,000 people. So we have acts that perform in Nashville and then drive through Chattanooga on their way to Atlanta, and then they perform in Atlanta. So one of the first things that we have to do is create a venue so that we can get nationally known artists here. Because if we were able to get, the Snoops or the T-Pains of the world to come to Chattanooga, then that would begin to influence our culture. That would begin to influence our understanding of hip hop. So we need another venue for everybody, not just hip hop. We need a brand new venue in Chattanooga, and that's something that I've really thought about. The other thing is, when I look at downtown, for example, it's a kind of sterile environment. I like to say that our downtown lacks soul. And I'm not just talking about, African American soul. I'm just talking about it. There's not a vitality. There's not. It doesn't look like people are having a good time, downtown. So we've got to do something to infuse culture of all kinds downtown. But I think it's true that the hip hop community is labeled as being drug related, as being violent, and those things aren't true. And so we've got to embrace all culture, including hip hop. We've got artists like Suevo that we're generating right here in Chattanooga, and we got to give them some love. We don't want them to go somewhere else and feel like other cities care more about them than we do right here. So we need to change that.
A little more films.